welcome to my channel, Haylee Marie Vintage. So recently I was in North Carolina with Serena and Stephanie to just meet up, do friend things, be friends, do touristy things. It was really great. It was really fun. I also went to hella antique malls, and the antiques on the East Coast are just something else. There's a lot better and older options out there than you can get on the West Coast side, or at least the Pacific Northwest. So I was pretty excited about that, and this whole video will show you the haul of all the things I brought back. I just decided to separate them out because I know vlogs are not everybody's thing. So this one I have a bunch of home decor, some like accessories, and one piece of clothing, and then a ton of linens and things to sew with. So that is what I'm gonna go through. We're first gonna start with some home decor, starting with something not very exciting, but I did buy myself a potato masher. Here she is. I like that it looks like this because this potato masher is actually going to be for agitating clothing when I'm washing it. A subscriber at some point gave this as a tip instead of using a wooden spoon, because a wooden spoon isn't necessarily the best tool for the like dunking you have to do. So see, she suggested a potato masher, and I like that this one has like no sharp edges or places clothing could get caught because it's round instead of like the squiggle formation of a potato masher. And it's like fully metal. I think it'll work really great for laundry, which sounds maybe kind of wild. Another thing I picked up, these aren't anything rare. I think they're like called Moser glass trees, but I saw these and these are the only Christmas decorations I have ever felt inclined to like. So I did pick them up while I was out there. They were also significantly cheaper than anything I saw on Etsy, especially once you count in shipping, because I don't know how heavy this is, but it's pretty heavy. She only had two, and she said there is a third tiny tree. So I'll probably pick up that tiny tree off Etsy at some point. In case you're wondering how much we're hauling here, I came to North Carolina with a suitcase that weighed 26 pounds, and I left with it weighing 49 pounds, just eking in under the radar. So tells you, I guess, how much stuff I brought back. I just set that straight on the potato masher. It's fine. Everything's okay. At the same store, these are a gift that I'll give before this video goes up, but I bought these 5 pink depression glasses. I have friends who they use mainly pink glassware. I actually don't know if these are depression ware because they have little bubbles that imply to me that these are actually maybe higher quality than the like mold glass, but they're really beautiful. They're these nice size of like a juice glass, and with these friends we often drink kind of alcoholic drinks that I think would fit nicely in here. I'm excited to give it to them. I'm gonna actually give it to them tomorrow because now I have filmed this. Woo! All things considered, I was actually pretty good and stuck with what is on my list. I got these two guys, which are spools. I'm always looking for spools. If you've been on this channel, you can see them probably kind of behind me and around me. I use these to put on lace on them that I then basically display for funsies because I have so much lace and I think lace is pretty and I like to have it on display. And I liked that these were kind of like nice step matching set. Another miscellaneous thing I got is this book of Marlene Dietrich. There's a lot of really beautiful photographs of her, and I thought it was inspiring, but it might be fun to recreate one of the looks in this book at some point. Let's be honest, this is years down the line from becoming a reality because I have so many projects right now, but lots of just really beautiful, pretty large photographs, and I love her style. I think all of these are specifically stills from movies. Kind of more her performance and less so her personal style. So unfortunately, there are not a ton of great suits in here, which I knew going in when I bought it because I looked through it before I bought it, but it is a little bit of a bummer. Continuing along the way, this is not that exciting, but it was not too terribly expensive compared to how much these cost in Seattle, and it's a nice size. My plan is to probably hang it kind of vertically on a wall like this. I just have been wanting one of these for a while too. It's a little bit heavier duty, and I thought it would be nice to have for my coats and my hats and things when I come in my entryway. And I have not been able to find one of these in Seattle. They're kind of expensive to order online because I think they're kind of awkward and bulky to ship. So that was actually on my list, that and the potato masher. So I did get some things on my list. Look at me go. Not on my list, I got some pottery. This is modern pottery. This is a local artist from the area. It's like a specific technique that I love. I've always wanted to try it. I've heard it called naked raku, where you heat it up really hot. I have a whole video where I show you us doing some raku pottery, and then you take some horsehair or grass or feathers or something and you put it on it while it's still really hot, and it like ashes onto the pottery, and you end up with these really cool marks like this. This one specifically used horsehair. I love this type of style of raku, so I was pretty excited, and this just feels really nice in my hands, so that's why I also picked this up. Alrighty, continuing on the pottery theme, something not on my list, but oh so cute, were these cat plates. I just got one big one and one small one. They actually had a pretty decent sized set, but I went with these just like two because suitcase space. Also, I don't really like having matching plates. However, I think, not that I'm going to like ever go full matching set, but I have a ton of, they're like a specific type of plates from the 70s that all are this similar like weight and style that there's tons of different colors. So I think that's probably going to be what I'm looking to collect in general these days, because I think they're really cute, and then I can have like a ton of variety, but they all have some cohesion. So I think that's the goal, and I think these kittens are super cute. Continuing on the cat plate theme, I picked up, this one is in a frame. I am working on a gallery wall right now. I've kind of gotten re-inspired by the place I live, but I just am feeling like hanging up more art. So I grabbed this really ridiculous cat plate. I mean, these cats are so silly. I thought it would be fun to pick these up. And it'll go nicely on my gallery wall. Similarly, on the gallery wall, I actually didn't know when I picked these up that this was the set. Oh, she's upside down. But these are just some really cute portraits of some ladies I thought would also work on my gallery wall. I feel like my gallery wall is kind of going with the themes women and cats, which is kind of fun. So all of these, I guess, fit with that theme. I like having a couple matching pieces because it like makes it feel a little bit more cohesive. I'm pretty hyped about these because yeah, I think they're really fun. Let's see, is that all? Yeah, that's all for decoration. We'll real quick talk about the few accessories I got. I got this hat here, which just sits on my head, kind of like this. It's technically, I think, a little bit big because I don't think you wear it all the way to the front. I think it's more of a back hat. It's cute, and with enough pins, it'll stay, and I really like these little flowers. I got this cute little spider brooch. I'm a sucker for a spider brooch. I have a pretty decent collection, and I don't have one that is this lovely amber color. That is why I picked this up. So cute, and I'm excited to add it to the collection. The only clothing item I bought was this pair of Victorian bloomers. They're not perhaps in the best of shape, but I guess they must be Edwardian because they're not split crotch. I think that's not what they're called, split drawers. I think they're just called split drawers, but they're split down the crotch. These might have been, and somebody might have just sewn the split together. That's exactly what happened. So I'm actually going to re-split these so I can wear them under things and just have the little legs. The lace on the bottom is absolutely stunning. And I feel fairly confident I can get most of the stains and stuff out with enough washing with my new potato washer, my potato masher. So I'm pretty excited about these, and they were a pretty good price. I think they were around $40, which, considering how good of condition these are in, I was pretty pleased with that. So also a gift for my friend. I have a friend who's a Virgo, and then I thought this was very funny and ironic because this is like not their personality at all. So I thought it was funny, and it's another gift that I'll give. And then I got a bunch of hankies. These are all like different printed hankies that I thought were really pretty. I could use. I'm thinking of doing a really interesting blouse with handkerchiefs, so I'm kind of collecting for that right now. I'm in collection mode. I probably have enough handkerchiefs, but can you ever have enough handkerchiefs when you're gonna stitch them all together and make a really ridiculous blouse? I don't know. That is why I keep collecting more and more. And the prices out there on these linens were pretty good. They were definitely lower than what I can get locally here in Seattle. I have to drive a few hours out of the city to hit prices similar to the prices I saw out there. Oh, the sun is coming back out. I'm excited. Similarly, another side project of mine that is not gonna come into fruition this year, it will likely not happen until next year, is I have a plan for a dress that I'm going to sew together all of these crochet doilies to make. So again, I'm in collection mode, collecting all these crochet pieces to eventually put together. I have this really nice big one that I think will work really well for a patch of skirt. And then this smaller one, again, these linen pieces just take such collection over time that anytime I see something priced and also looking a way I'm looking for, I pick it up. This one's definitely made of like softer, and this has probably had starch put on it. So once I wash it, it'll probably all come out. Continuing on linens, I just have been looking for like towels and tablecloths and things. So I picked up a bunch while I was out there. This first one is this set of, it's a table runner. Oh no, it's not. I think it's placemats and napkins. I think this could make a really fun, beautiful, what is the word I'm looking for? Blouse. Yes, or maybe even a skirt once I patchwork it all together and then fit it to a pattern. And I really love these tulips with the gray. I think it's very chic and modern looking. So I think those will make something nice. And then I'm really excited about this one. This is actually a tablecloth that has been on my wish list for a long time. I've just never found it on the right price at Etsy. This one is a bit stained, but I don't mind that. But I have an obsession with blue fruit. If you've been on this channel enough, you know that. So I grabbed this blue fruit here, tablecloth. And there's definitely enough to make a short sleeve blouse. I have to decide all my placement and things, and I'm gonna see if with a little work I can get some of this staining out that's on this. That's actually my mission today after I film this video, is to start working on the stains on that, the bloomers, everything that has stains that I wanna make something with. This is another towel I picked up for eventually a similar purpose. There's just a lot of good border stuff that I can use to patchwork this probably into some sort of blouse. I love old linens, and I don't know, do people still use fancy linens? I just don't know anyone personally who doesn't just have like kind of a bunch of like cruddier towels. I don't feel like I really know people who like have display towels the way maybe you used to. This one I think is so funny. So this is a tea towel, a novelty tea towel from who knows when. Hopefully you can see that. We have the woman who is doing the dishes and throwing them back and breaking her husband's TV and hitting him on the head. The dog's kind of freaking out. I just thought this was a really funny towel and would make a, again, fantastic garment. I have to figure out exactly how these will work. I'm thinking they would make great like sleeve heads maybe. I don't know. I think that's what I've been really enjoying about making things out of linens, is placement so key that it's a really fun kind of thing for me to figure out how to place everything. And then the next two I got because they kind of match, so I can definitely make them into one thing. I loved the way this was printed with the fruits and the polka dots, and then I loved the way the floral matched it. And again, the prices there were about what I have to drive like a few hours out of Seattle to get to. So I was pretty happy with these, and all the tea towels that I just showed you are in pretty pristine condition. I'm not gonna have to get any sort of staining out of them. And then last in the linen department is this crochet blanket. This actually has a tag that shows that it was crocheted in China. I did buy it secondhand, but I generally don't feel comfortable with the idea of buying any mass-produced crochet because you cannot do this with a machine, and I do think this is a genuine crochet as a crocheter. These are definitely crochet knots, so I'm a little concerned. But I did pick this up to make it into, it's a pretty big piece. This is it folded in half, and I did pick it up to make maybe like a dress, like a 1930s dress with. Now that I have a serger, I feel more confident trying to make something with pieces like this. In the past, I've always just been a little bit nervous to work with something like this and cut it up because I just like have not ever felt like I have a good way of finishing it. But now that I have that, that's my plan. Again, if I had known this was, I'm hoping it's still old enough, but I don't know. It just, I'm concerned. Please, please, please never buy cheap crochet. Again, I did buy the secondhand. It's not like I gave the money to whoever actually manufactured this like that, but crochet cannot be made by machine. It has to be made by hand. So if you're seeing dirt cheap crochet, be very concerned and please do not buy. Oh, last is sewing things. I'm pretty excited about a bunch of these. So first up, I have this little spoolie guy. I actually felt like was still a good price. It was $18 and it has a bunch of this swirly trim on it. I have been eyeballing a lot of this trim on Etsy, but I rarely see it in a yardage enough to interest me because to use cording, I feel like you just kind of have to have a lot to use something like this. So I was pretty excited when I saw it, so I did pick it up. I don't know how many yards are on this, but I think it's quite a bit. I would guess at least 9. Looking at it, we'll see what it actually rounds out to. It might even be more. So that's why I picked this guy up, even though it was like on the more expensive side. I picked up a thing of zippers. If you know me, you know that I hoard vintage metal zippers. This is a whole container of vintage metal zippers. There's also some other interesting things that I have to check out in here. There's like 2 or 3 unknown notions in here, but everything else is a metal zip that's specifically some kind of weird sizes that I have less of, some 7, 8, and 9, which is for skirts. And I've not always been good about remembering to pick up these smaller ones, so that is why I picked this guy up. I'm pretty excited about this one too. This is a ton of really beautiful vintage ribbon in it. I'm gonna like destash a few pieces of this right away to my local creative reuse center, but there's enough good stuff in here and it was a good price that I picked it up. I also got some buttons. They're just some green buttons with some gold around them, bias tape. And then this I'm excited about. I think it was 70% off or something like that. But it's this really, really beautiful, rich, jewel-toned embroidered applique trim. I don't know if I'm gonna keep it in its trim form or if I am thinking of like sewing something up with black fabric and then appliquing it, because this is really, really, really easy to cut apart into little flowers. So we'll see what I end up doing with it, but I don't really have a ton of things with this like beautiful dark base to it. And there's a lot of vintage clothing out there that I love because of the applique done to it. So I think like a 1940s rayon dress with these appliqued around the bodice would be really stunning. Again, way in the future. I have all my projects planned through the rest of this year. And then the last few things, I got this from Stephanie from her game show. She went and sourced things for us to play a little game show, and I asked if I could keep this knit to make a little turtleneck with, and she said of course. She also found these two patterns which I thought were really cute. I like this one here, which is just this little jumper guy, and this guy here, which is a coat with a hood. Sometimes it's really hard to find vintage coats with hoods, so I love that this is it's my size, but also this is like the ideal coat pattern for me. I'm thinking about, I want to make some like slightly more casual coats, and this is like the perfect length, and it has the hood. Living in Seattle, I'm not gonna lie, I wear a lot of coats without hoods whenever I can, but when they do have a hood, I don't have to think about, is it going to rain today? So then it can be an automatic, I can just wear it out. So I'm pretty freaking excited about this one. And this one is actually one that's been kind of, not this exact one has been on my list, but something like it has been. And then the last pattern is a wedding dress. The older woman at the counter who sold this to me was so excited. She was like, are you gonna make your wedding dress? And I said, nope, I'm gonna make it out of cotton, like pattern cotton. Like people don't realize that wedding dresses, if you make a wedding dress pattern out of like a normal cotton, you just have like a big, fun, frothy, poofy dress. You don't need to necessarily make out a wedding material. And there's a lot of really great options here. It has 6 different sleeve options. It has a bunch of different lace options, fabric options. Like this is a really, really great multi-use pattern. And wedding dress patterns, regardless of the decade, have actually gotten a little bit more expensive recently. So I was excited. I think this was $1 a pattern. So I was pretty excited to pick this up for that price. But I think that concludes everything. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I definitely was not the best at not picking up too many things while out and about on that trip. I'm pretty excited about most of these things. I don't know how many of these projects are actually going to see on the channel because I am trying to make a few of these linen pieces off camera to give myself time to just enjoy the process and not have to like worry about showing the process as much. We'll kind of see how that ends up working out. If you enjoyed this, definitely subscribe, stick around. I will have, if I make them off camera, you will still see me talk about the project on camera. It's not like this just goes into a void. So stick around, stay tuned. Again, I'll link Serena and Stephanie down below, and they kind of appear on my vlog. I'm not the best vlogger when it comes to having friends around. So they're really only making minor guest appearances there. And then I post every single Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific time, and I will see you next week. Bye!